Hello again, everybody. I am here with another guide to Final Fantasy XI. This is the remaining White Mage Artifact pieces. Now, this one's going to cover getting the Healer's Cap, the Healer's Pantaloons, and the Healer's Mitts. First thing we're going to want to do, if we've completed Rhapsodies of Vana'diel Part 2, of course, we're going to come to this vendor Moogle, and we're going to buy some keys. And we want to make sure we're buying coffer keys, not chest keys, because that can be a thing. And we want one for Bedeau. We want one for the Garlag Citadel. And we want one for the Crawler's Nest, which is in here somewhere, I'm sure. Don't mind me, I am blind. There it is. You want to make sure you got coffer keys, otherwise you're going to be wandering around farming keys forever, because the drop rate sucks on them. Alright, so once we've got our keys ready, we want to head to Upper Juno. Right here, in fact, actually. Durable shields. I'm going to pop on into here. And you want to chat with this critter here for a cutscene. Now the cutscene will direct you to the stronghold of Bedeau, which is just off the Pashao marshlands. I'm sure you've been here enough times. Quickest way to get here is the survival guide. Now from here we want to make our way down and through the dungeon. I also probably want to make sure I've got some lovely whatchamacallits on me. That would be let's see, do I? Oh, I don't believe I do. Alright, so this should be fun. Probably want to have, echo drops on you to cure silence, but we're just gonna plow on through without. Since I'm a white mage, that shouldn't be too difficult, actually. So, yeah, I hope you have a map of this place, because it can get a little wiggly. Otherwise, you can just kind of follow my lead. We are going to, I believe, map number 2, which is the one we're currently on, but in a different spot. Down in the tunnels beneath. Yep. Down in the tunnels beneath the stronghold on the other end. Now you can see these critters here, the Afflictor, they will give you curse if you walk to them and you don't have if you don't have if you're not muted from the mute. But white mage, so yeah. Boom, and let's just throw one of these on here for good measure. Probably gonna have to rest up my MP at some point in time after all this, but these things happen. These things happen. Anyway, we just want to make our way through the tunnels here. It's pretty much the same as going for the Magicite, because they're down in, they're not Magicite, the level 70 limit break. It raises your cap to 70. So yeah, you just kind of want to make your way up and out. Like I said, it can be a maze, that's why I'm leaving this part in, because it can be a butt to find these things here. Once we get to the spot, editing me will do a thing. But I'll save saying that for later so editing me doesn't get confused and put it in the wrong spot. As is extremely possible. So yes, there's a couple more mutes around if you wanted to get the mute if you're not here on Well, I don't know why you'd be here on White Mage not on White Mage collecting White Mage stuff, but you can actually do this on any job once you get the quest. Once you get the quest flagged, you can do this part on any job. The other coffers have to be opened as White Mage, though. So that is also a thing. Where do we have Kursna? Hello, Kursna. And that might not be our last time getting cursed either, so... These are things that we have to deal with. We just want to make our way around the top of the area here to, well, you can see where we're going. So yeah, we're heading to that spot over there where the two portions of the map connect together. And we're going to get stuck on a wall. That's always a good time. There'll be chapters. I'll put chapters in this one so you can just skip this part if you don't need directions on how to get there. But if you do, well, then this part's for you. Just want to continue on making our way over. Well, I'm definitely probably going to want to find a spot to rest up for a little bit. Maybe want to call out some trusts just in case, because even if you have sneak, it will wear off once you open a coffer. And that can be a bit of a pain. Make sure we've got our trusty warp ring ready. And we do. My brain just hiccuped on me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. Just gonna slink on through here into the next area, where I am going to find myself a quiet spot to, maybe not, continue on, apparently. Yes. Now, more in-depth White Mage guide will be coming soon, covering the job abilities, spells, and traits. All that fun stuff. Including the best support job for White Mage. It may not be what you think. We're considering the search function. A lot of people on this server actually get it. We know what we're doing. So we want to come up there to that little... Well, you'll see. I'll show you when we get there. I shall show you when we get there. Coming up around the bend. And let's see. Still got a little ways to go. Yeah, a lot of these things will aggro you if you're level 60 or lower, so that's also a point to mention. And if I'm not mistaken, this is where we want to be, yes. So now, things down here will aggro you, I believe, up to 99, so... Certainly want to throw a sneak on. And head on down. Yeah, you can see the Ancient Quada will definitely aggro you up to level 99, and they are all sound aggro, so... Don't really need to worry about too much. Ignore the background noise of the upstairs neighbors being loud. They're always loud. Now, if you didn't buy a coffer key, or you couldn't buy a coffer key, the turtles down here will drop them. The larvas will not, but the turtles themselves will. Now, hopefully, I'm going to get lucky and find this quick. But if I don't, it might be a pain in the bum. So, editing me will now put a map of the coffer locations on the screen. Thank you, editing me. I'm going to take a short break to recover my MP and HP. Now once you're set to continue, and I would recommend calling out your trusts and having at least one extra healer trust, because I'm actually going to go to the mute because I don't feel like being cursed again. And a healer trust will remove silence for you, so... And thankfully, Bedeau is one of the least complicated maps for finding coffers. Don't worry, it's made up for later on in the guide, for sure. Now, there's potentially a coffer here, potentially 2 coffer spawns back there. Of course, neither of them were the coffer spawns, so gotta go a little deeper in, so that's what the mute is for. There's potentially one in this corner and one in that corner, and we are not that lucky, so gotta head in a little deeper. Last time I was here, I believe I saw one in the next spawn area, which is the next room. Up in this direction. But yeah, it's delightfully uncomplicated and a fairly small map, so picking up the coffers isn't that difficult. You will need to have the key items from the mission, the Magicite mission, in order to get through some of these doors, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on it. But yeah. Let's see. I don't believe this is a spawn location. So our next spawn locations are in here, actually. Oh, it is a spawn location. But the next and final 3 are actually out in here. And you might find one up in here. And we did. Here's the coffer we are looking for. This ancient turtle here, though, is going to get uppity if I unlock it. And he's in range, which he is, so I'm going to let him get uppity. I don't really care. Really, dude? You're going to trade your coffer key to it, and you'll get old gauntlets. Now, if you're doing this with a group, only the person that opens the coffer will get the old gauntlets. And we can just either smack these guys or head on out. Once you have your key item, you want to return to the NPC that started the quest right here in Upper Juno. Back in Durable Shields. You won't get any cutscenes this time, you just get some conversation about how you can't repair them, and then you want to talk to Deadly Minnow. And he'll tell you about a cat working for the Tenshoto that acquired a strange lockbox. Weird foreshadowing. Now to get to Tenshoto, there is a guide for Tenshoto membership on the channel. You probably already have it, but in case you need it and I don't put it on here, poke me in the comments and I will link it there. So when I make your way into the Tenshoto headquarters, slowly but surely, head on down the hallway, through the door, and chat with this cat here. You only need to do this part if this is your first time doing one of the hands quests. So, you will need 1,000 gil for this, and that's all. Now you have access to the old toolbox, which is downstairs in Port Juno, down here in the auction house area. You just activate the box for a cutscene, and your cutscene will vaguely point you in the direction of your next part of this quest, which takes place in Castle Svalbales, which is off of Zarkabard at D7 on the map. I don't have a map here yet, so sorry for that. You just want to kind of head on in, and it's a short walk, really, from here to where we're going. If this is your first time here, like it is mine, we want to pick up the survival guide. And here's a fairly decent spot to call out some trusts, because you're going to need them. You may or may not need trust for this, depending on your level. If you're a ridiculously high level, you probably won't need them, but since I am not, I probably will. We just kind of want to make our way this way, just following the main path all the way to the castle gates, basically. And will the demon pawns aggro me? No. Alright, I believe they will aggro up to level 65 or so. So if you're here on a slightly lower level, they will be potentially a pain in the butt. The evil eyes are a little weaker, so that's cool. The elementals are a little bit higher level, so yeah. Just want to make our way down the lane, around the corners, up the stairs, yeah. Or down the stairs, up the stairs, one of the two. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just head through the main path, up to the gates, where you will find the torches. Which is what we're looking for. And once we have the torches, you want to target one of the torches, anyone, it does not matter. And you will have a fight against the Dark Spark. And once you have defeated the notorious monster spawn by, you just pick again any torch. I don't really believe it matters, and you get the key item, Shadow Flames. Once you have your key item, you want to return to Port Juno, where you want to head back down to the auction house area and interact with the toolbox one more time for another cutscene. And your reward, a brand new pair of Healer's Mitts. Let's give Healing Magic Skill plus 15, 10 MP, 5 Strength, and minus 4 Enmity. Really nice, actually, considering some of the other artifact armor. So, congratulations, that's this quest actually done. But wait, there's more. So the next portion of our adventure takes us to the Garliag Citadel, where we need to get to, I believe, map 2 or map 3. So, that's going to be fun. Now, we have been here before for the first Limit Break quest, so you should have already been to this spot. If not, you can come in here off of Saramag Champagne. You can just take the survival guide here. It's the quickest way to get here. Now, as long as you are over level 50, you will not need Sneak or Invisible to get through this first part. But you will probably want at least Sneak for the next part. Because, yeah, getting to these spots can be kind of a pain in the bum. You know, make sure you don't fall down in any holes, because that is a pain in the butt to get out of as well. And your trusts might get a little hung up on things in the background. Lag. My goodness, frame rate. Frame rate, frame rate, frame rate, frame rate. Now is not the time to run away. And you'll also need a pouch of weighted stones for this, which there's a guide in the description, or if not, poke me until I post it in the comments. Now from here we may need Sneak. Let me check real quick. I don't want to end up fighting everything in the area. You may need Sneak here if you are lower level than I am. I am level 68 doing this, which is way too high level to be doing this, really. Not really. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, just want to make our way to the back here. It's the same path we took for the Limit Break quest. So, there is that. Once again, chapters, if you want to skip the walk, you can skip the walk. Editing me will throw up a... I want to watch out for the NPCs, the notorious monsters there. Skewer Sam is one of them. But yeah, editing me will now have a map of the coffer key locations for this area on the screen. Thank you, editing me. And yeah, we just kind of want to head down into the basement here. All sneaky like. Will funnel bats aggro me? Possibly. Now, I believe this is a potential spot. I'm not 100% sure at this point. So let me double check real quick. I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure though, so don't really quote me on that. It has been a while, and the notes I have are not fantastic, actually. Now, we want to head north on this map to get to the first batch of these, which is on this particular map. So, we shall get completely lost, turned around, and go the wrong way. But it's right here through the exposure area. Now, these guys will aggro if you are a lower level. I'm not sure if they'll actually aggro me. It doesn't seem so, even though they are easy prey. Just want to make our way carefully through here so we don't get our butts chewed on by angry bombs. Let me double check here. I do believe, yes. It's one of those tricky parts of the map where you can't actually get up that way. So, I want to continue on in this direction. Ignore the loud upstairs neighbors. They are loud. Now, there's going to be some undead up in these areas, as well as some slimes. We just kind of want to enjoy the fact that we have sneak, and wait, we do not have sneak up. Probably want to cast sneak, actually. Anywho, once we're here, we want to go through another banishing gate. Into the next area. By the power of our weighted stones. And one of the spawn spots is down here, where it is not. And there are two more up in this direction, which takes us off the map, actually, as you can see. Once you get past the Vanishing Gate, you're off the map and into no man's land. But yeah, I believe, oh, right here. Lucky, lucky. And it's in the middle of nowhere. You just want to trade your coffer key to it. And kapow! Brand new healer's cap. And what do we have on the healer's cap? We have 13 MP, 4 mind, 15 darkness, and -1 enmity. Nice to have. And the next leg of our journey takes us to the Crawler's Nest. Now, editing me will have a map of the coffer areas on screen right now. Thank you, editing me. Thank you, thank you. And to get to the coffer area, it is a bit of a maze, and the map here is either purchasable or very long quest. I might actually stream the very long quest at some point in time soon. But, well, sooner for you than it would be for me, actually. Wait. Brain hurt. Never mind. Anyway, just, if you need to follow the kitty, follow the kitty. If not, then you're probably already done with this, and yeah, enjoy your artifact gear. So we just want to make our way this way. Avoid the death jackets. Now, I don't know necessarily if there's anything you're going to need to sneak an invisible for in here. I think there probably is, because there's some high-level stuff that spawns in the areas where these things are. Just want to make your way to the top of the hill here. Drop down into the lizards. Now, from here, we want to go and find these guys and take the route right next to them, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I am wrong. From here we want to take this one, I believe. We'll get you down into the next area. Or up into the next area. It's really hard to tell in the crawler's nest. Yeah, the worker crawlers shouldn't aggro you as long as you're over level. Oh wait, they don't aggro anyway. Don't mind me. They don't aggro anyway. Now some things might though. We'll just play it by ear, I guess, and see what will and what won't. And head down the long, long tunnel until you get to another silly area with some silly paths. Once again, like, even if you have the map, it's not really that handy because the area is a maze of stuff that's up, down, with some hills. Let's see here. Yep, we want to just kind of continue on straight here until we get to another spot to drop down. Let's see, soldier crawlers, check. Now these guys might actually be aggressive to you depending on what level you're in here at. So be careful of them. You may need sneak for those, or invisible, one of the two. I'm not 100% sure which, but you just kind of want to continue through the tunnel and down into this hole. And we'll check the labyrinth lizards. I'm gonna sneak an invis here, actually. Now from here, I do believe we want to avoid that tunnel. And I think the tunnel we're after is the next one up. I'm not 100% sure on this, but we'll find out in a sec. As we go through here, I don't think the witch hazels aggro at all, so you should be safe with them. Into another area here, and I believe we want to take the first tunnel that we can get to here, potentially. Unless I am hopelessly lost, which is always a possibility with me. It doesn't look like it though. Looks like we're on the right track. And rumble crawlers will definitely aggro. They are not chill critters. They just like to fighty, fighty, fight. And here's our treasure coffer. Now you can't open these with invisible up, so you want to take invisible off and trade your key. And just like that, that is the entirety of White Mage Artifact gear. And that sets you up with the Healer's Pantaloons, which give you more 15 points more MP, plus 3 Vitality, plus 15 Divine Magic Skill, which is very nice, and minus 1 Enmity. And congratulations, that is the entirety of the White Mage Artifact armor. The Healer's Cap, Healer's Thing, Healer's Mitts, Healer's Pantaloons, and Healer's Duckbills. That's all for this guide. I shall see you in the next one. If you are so inclined to do the things, do the things. Bring a friend, have them do the things. Patreon if you're feeling generous, and I shall see you in the next guide. Until then, happy gaming.